Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups, and it's time for Let's Talk Night Thrasher. That's right everybody, welcome to Let's Talk Night Thrasher here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin' Robbie Billups, and I do run the account on Twitter, Let's Talk Night Thrasher. You can find it at Let's Thrasher. Today we're going to be talking about New Warriors number 5, a very exciting issue that introduces a new villain, kind of, Star Thief. Star Thief, first of all, that's that dude on the cover that the Warriors are fighting right there. I think it's got a cool, sleek, neat design by Mark Bagley, of course. I think that's really, really neat. The issue opens up, we're talking about the space program. So we're showing the space launch, right? And in the space launch, that's when the Star Thief shows up. So his whole thing is that he's got this tremendous power, and what he's doing is he's trying to stop the wasteful spending on space exploration. So he's going to all these different space launches, and he's just destroying the rockets, right? So that is basically the villain, the setup, what's going to be happening here. So then we cut to Dwayne. Dwayne, aka Night Thrasher, is chilling with Cord, and he's going over video of him fighting. Cord's giving him a little bit of advice with technique and stuff like that. So then Dwayne asks Cord to give him his opinions on each of the new warriors. Nova, he thinks, is very powerful, but not quite a team player yet. Firestar, they say she's doing good. She doesn't really know how to control her powers, nor does she know about her powers. Some kind of mystery there. We have another little subplot about that coming up in just a second. He says Justice, my bad, Marvel Boy, he eventually becomes Justice. Marvel Boy is your ace. He says it's not just the telekinetic abilities, but that he is a team player, and also Namorita is a team player, and she's super strong. So he gives him then his opinion on Speedball, and says, I don't really know because he can't really focus or control his powers, and I don't really even want to talk about it. Because right now, Speedball is kind of the misfit of the New Warriors, and it stays that way for just a minute. Then Ty comes in, brings in Marvel Boy. Marvel Boy has the news article about Star Thief destroying the rocket launch, and he says, hey man, this is what we need to do. We need to go after him. Dwayne's like, no, that's more of the Avengers of the Fantastic Four type stuff. And then Marvel Boy's like, hey, if we're going to go after crime, we need to go for all kinds of crime, right? So, yeah, basically he convinces Dwayne, like, we need to go stop the Star Thief, right? Then we cut to Namorita in school. One of her professors, her husband works for Stain International. You'll know Stain from the Iron Man film, from the Armor Wars back in the 80s and all that stuff. So Stain International has been sending chemical waste and stuff up into space and dumping it there. So Namorita has that attention now. Then we cut to Robbie. His parents are kind of arguing right now. His mother's going down to like help these environmentalist activists and stuff like that. His dad's like a lawyer. They're splitting. He's kind of worried about that. He misses his train. How's he going to get there? Uses his powers to jump onto this train and have it launch himself into Manhattan, where he's going to bust in on the New Warriors as they're meeting up to discuss everything that's happening. Namorita shows up, tells him, hey, I know where the next space launch is going to be. It's going to be this shady dude that works for Stain International. So it's coincidentally, it all lines up. They decide they're going to go there and stake out this space launch and wait for the Star Thief to show up, and also go after Stain International for illegally dumping chemicals and waste and stuff like that into space, right? Kill two birds with one stone. Rather convenient. Fabian Nicieza, yeah, of course, this is a convenient plot point, but when you're writing comic books that are like 22 pages, you only got so much time and space to get the story across, and there's lots of these fun coincidences, not just in comic books, but in story in general, and I don't really typically mind them. I think it's cool. Then we have a couple little interludes here. One is the White Queen, now the leader of the inner circle of the Hellfire Club, and one of her minions says, someone just accessed our database on Firestar. Dun-dun-dun-dun. She says she's going to deal with Firestar once and for all. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Then we have another little interlude here where a woman is talking to these dudes, and basically it's right down here at the bottom, and it's like everything is in order, mistress. The archaeological party will meet in Cairo. I don't need to hear the details, Hoshni. I just need to see the deed accomplished. And then what is that leading to? AKA, spoilers, the Sphinx. But that stuff's really fun and coming out. So the New Warriors are scoping out this missile space launch, right? With all this chemical waste that's going to be dumped. And of course, the Star Thief shows up. So they split up. Nova and a few others, they go after Star Thief. Dwayne and Robbie, they decide they're going to check out the rocket and see what exactly is going on there. What's going on there are mandroids. So now we got lots of cool classic Marvel action. big, epic, explosive Marvel early 90s action right here. Perfectly illustrated by Mark Bagley. Just doing an absolutely fun, fantastic job. Then this dude shows up and he's like, yeah, we're doing this because we can. We're an evil corporation, right? And then Star Thief winds up learning that, yes, indeed, there are chemicals here because the Warriors warned Star Thief, if you blow up this rocket, you're going to contaminate the environment because it's got all these chemicals. So he finds them and he's like, oh man, that's crazy. What are we going to do? So now it seems like him and the Warriors are going to kind of align. And there's a division in the Warriors in this issue, especially between Marvel Boy and Namorita, because Namorita wants to protect the environment. Marvel Boy wants to stop the alleged criminal, the criminal Star Thief, because he's been destroying these spaceships. So there's a little bit of that disagreement. On the ship is Star Thief, Firestar, Marvel Boy, and Namorita. Dwayne and the others are out of the ship, and then the dude has signals an emergency launch once everything starts going haywire, and the rocket goes off, and Dwayne's like, are you crazy? They were still on there. Now they're going to be dumped in space. And he goes, into space? No, that ship's going to the moon to dump it. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Cue in the next issue where the Inhumans show up. Some really cool developments about Night Thrasher here, though, is his willingness to jump into cosmic-powered beings. It is funny when they start saying, like, this isn't a Warriors-level type thing, the Star Thief, but seriously, Terrax, Juggernaut, you've already accomplished so much. They do mention the gene tech type stuff, very little. Cool little subplots, though, that are building up to a confrontation with White Queen, and of course the lead into the big Sphinx story, one of the big great epics of the first year or two of the New Warriors. We're building up to that right now already in these pages. Fabian Nicieza, Mark Bagley did a great job. You learn a little bit more about the Taylor Foundation. Dwayne tells Marvel Boy that his father, before he died, before he was murdered, left him all these financial institutions and companies and one thing called the Taylor Foundation, and that's how he's able to pay for the New Warriors and all of his crime-fighting material and all that stuff. So he's kind of rich, right? And then we get a little bit more explanation about that. Night Thrasher and the New Warriors in general, this was a great book when I was a kid. It still is fun and fresh to read today. It's very dated, obviously, like most comic books are from decades before, but it's still very much fun, very vibrant and exhilarating, and I'm having so much fun going through the New Warriors and the Night Thrasher appearances. So thank you guys so much for checking out the video. You can once again find Let's Talk Night Thrasher over on Twitter, where there's a whole community of Let's Talk accounts that positively celebrate their favorite characters. One I want to shout out right now, Let's Talk Firestar. The page for Let's Talk Firestar is great. It's active, lots of cool stuff. I highly recommend that you check it out because Firestar is a dope character. She's a New Warrior, she's an Avenger, and more. She's a great character, and I'm so glad that she's got a Let's Talk account. Definitely Thrasher approved. Check out Let's Talk Firestar. So thank you so much for checking out this video, and do follow me on Twitter at Let's Thrasher, and you can follow me personally on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. Keep thrashing.